Alright folks, it is time for my January TBR. Now for me, December and the entire end of the year has been hectic as shit. So I haven't really had time to think much about what I'm going to be doing in the new year. I've decided on my reading goals, but I haven't decided on how I might change how I set up my monthly TBRs. If you don't know, last year, I'll link December's TBR video up in the cards. I did a TBR Wheel roll for a book off of my TBR jar for one of the new books I've had coming in, and a dice roll for a book from a series that I need to finish. And I don't know if I'm going to continue that or not. So what I'm doing is I'm going to ignore the series one for this month, and I'm going to do the TBR wheel, but I haven't set it up for 2025 yet, so this will just be 2024's wheel, i.e. all the books that I had at the start of 2024. So it is missing some from this year. And then I've picked one of the books that my wonderful partner gave me for Christmas, and that will count for my new book, because I haven't had any come in January yet, surprisingly. Let's dive in to the various books I'm going to be reading. First up is the one from my partner, so this will appear in my end of year haul, which will be in January, and that is What You Are Looking For Is in the Library by Michiko Aoyama. So this is a book translated from Japanese, if you couldn't tell by my butchering of the name. It's translated by Alison Watts, and in this book we have Tokyo's most enigmatic librarian, and they are able to tell exactly what each individual person needs to read next, and picks a book out for them. And there's a cat on the cover. I don't think the cat's going to be in the book, but there's a cat on the cover, and that makes all the difference. So I'm really excited for this one. It's a nice little short book which will be appreciated for one of the books I have on my TBR, and I'm very excited to dive into this one. Books about books are always perfect. Something I am continuing with is I had been reading a Discworld book each and every month so that I could read Hogfather in December. Now, read Hogfather, spoiler for my December wrap-up, loved it, and I want to carry on with Discworld, so I'm going to be reading Jingo by Terry Pratchett, which is the next book in the series, Commander Vimes. So this is a city watch. That's all I need to know. Then I have an arc that is coming out on the 30th of January, so I need to pick this one up, which is Outrage by Ellen Jones. This is a non-fiction all about the current state of LGBTQ+ legislation in the UK. Why the fight for LGBTQ+ equality is not yet won, and what we can do about it. I have started this one, forgive me, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It's well written, it's engaging, and I'm looking forward to carrying on with this. And then the final book before the wheel, and that is Winter of the World by Ken Follett. This is the second book in the Centuries of the Earth trilogy? Centuries trilogy, I think it's just Centuries trilogy. The first book is set around World War I, and this one is World War II. And again, I've made a tiny start in this giant book, and we are actually following, further in time of course, some of the families that we had already been following in the first book, so I do like that. I have conflicting feelings about Ken Follett. His historical research is wonderfully done. His writing of women leaves something to be desired, however he seems to improve over time. I've only read 2 of his books, and it feels like I've read a million because they're both very long, but Pillars of the Earth is fucking awful. I have a review here. Everyone is very rude to me in the comments. And then Fall of Giants, which is the first book, was nowhere near as bad. It still wasn't good, you can tell it's written by a man, but it was nowhere near as bad. So I'm hoping that this one will improve, and that he just improves in writing women in generally. But yeah, my dad, bless him, knew that I had Fall of Giants and wanted to own the whole series to try and read them, and he tried really hard to find me this and Edge of Eternity, so I'm very grateful, and I will be reading them because I love my dad. But yeah, this is gonna take me a while. And then, to get my phone out, I need to go and find the TBR wheel because I haven't opened that in a while. So of course I will have the screen recording up here, tap to spin, and we shall see exactly what book I'm going to get from all of my start of 2024 owned books. Oh, very curious about either of these. Okay, I think, is that up there? It's We Hunt the Flame by Hafsah Faizal. Where have I put it? I am both scared and excited for this one. The writing in this is teeny tiny. Absolutely teeny tiny. But also, I have read and really enjoyed A Tempest of Tea by Hafsah Faizal, and this one was gifted to me by Carrie from Caring for Books, and she's usually pretty spot on with the books that I'm going to enjoy. Zafira is the hunter, forced to disguise herself as a man. She risks everything to provide for her people. Nazir is the Prince of Death, a feared assassin who is forever bound to the command of his father, the Sultan. Both are legends in their kingdom, but neither wants to be, and when Zafira embarks on a dangerous quest to return magic to their suffering land, Nasir is sent on a similar mission. but as their journey unfolds, an ancient evil begins to stir. I want to read it already. So yeah, I am nervous for this one just because of the tiny writing, but excited. I wish it had been a different book that had come up, because Winter of the Worlds is it's just such a chunk, but I am very excited to read it. So this is why I do the wheel. It forces me to pick up books that I've been putting off because it has small writing, but that I will actually enjoy when I do finally read it. I'm trying to hold these, and my stack is just getting messier and messier, so let me organise. I'm sticking with smaller TBRs, hopefully, depending on reading challenges, etc. But I'm hoping to stick with smaller TBRs again in 2025 and just stick with around 5 books each month. If I read over, fantastic, and if I read under, then it's fine. So these are the books. Let me know if you've read any of them, or if you're excited for, I can't point to it, but The Ark. I'm really excited for that one. I'm excited for them all, to be honest. I think they're all going to be very interesting and engaging reads. Let me know what your TBR for January is down in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching, folks. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!